All right, should be live now. No, by live I mean recording. All right, so after a long break, we're now back at the meeting number 4. So this has been a while. There's a bunch of pull requests that got merged since then. So I'm not sure if it's super worth it to go over all of them, given that there's so many of them. Two things I wanted to mention out of these PRs. One of them adds upgrades a bunch of our libraries. And so if you are using Yoroi off of develop now, you need to basically just clear your entire cache. So all the build files and DLLs and everything, just delete it all and do a clean build. Otherwise, you'll get these weird errors. So I just wanted to point that out before I forget. Yeah, is there any merge PR anybody wants to go over in particular you have questions about? No?
Actually, I had one point to discuss. So it's about export transaction.
Right.
So it's
this PR in general.
About the PR, about the implementation. I will share one link. Hold on. Where I can show that now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This one. Up here. And here. Okay. So I want to share one link, so I should just throw in the chat, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So about this file, I shared one link in the chat. So I have. Okay. So this is like a part of how to say API, and which is directly manipulating window object. So that I felt like which I think we should find a better way for that. Like in API, we all think as a black box, which process our request, and the view part we should deal in the components and containers.
So why can we not solve this in the same way we do the logging? Right? So logging is basically the same thing. You click a button and then it pops up a download. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I just I will look, like if everybody agrees, like this is the first time I'm discussing this. So especially Ruslan, if you are agreed that we should change, then I will look on the logging part.
Yeah, good point. I completely forgot about logging when doing this. So yeah, if you have any better ideas, always feel free to look into stuff and ways how it can be changed.
Yeah, okay. About this PR, like almost everything is done, but there is a test, feature test, which is not passing, and I'm looking into that. After that, we can start review for that.
Okay, cool.
Right.
And also, the test cases, I have little bit modified because it was not running because of flow. So I enabled the flow, then I saw a few things need to be changed, and I changed. But maybe Ruslan, you want to have a look that is it okay or not, because I just change it to run for test cases to pass.
Okay, it's a part of the same PR now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try to look into it today, maybe.
I pushed the code, so you can have a look now also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's it from my side about this export PR.
So the only feature in a triage right now is the lock screen feature. Did anybody want to talk about it?
Yeah, what's the latest status in this one? It's still in design, right? It's postponed any work on it.
Yeah, I think this one was pushed back for us to work on the memo feature, right?
Yeah, because we had two ways to implement this. One is halfway, and the other one's like everything at once. So basically, the way that we were thinking about implementing this, like to have something fast, is that we will have like uh, an a PIN code that will allow you to access the wallet, but this wouldn't be actually backed by encryption. So, for example, if someone goes to the tools in Chrome and goes to application, they could like set up the PIN to nothing and bypass like this security and actually see in the wallet. So this first implementation was mostly UI, and I don't know if this is something that people will be okay with it, or if someone is like, no way, I want like real security right away, and it's like everything or nothing. And if it's that way, we should like froze it and work on the way that we will like implement everything and encrypt it, something similar to what we are doing in the mobile app. Because the idea of this is like the wallet's already secure. No one's going to be able to steal you anything but everything related to privacy. So in the mobile app, we do something similar using your PIN code or using some of the biometrics API. We are able to like encrypt like your information. So even if someone can steal your money, they also can't even like see how much money you have.
You mean if someone can steal the phone?
Sorry?
You mean if someone can steal the phone? You just said like if someone can steal the money.
Oh yeah, no one can steal you the money because we are always using spending passwords or something of that sort. But in the mobile app, also we worry about privacy. So even if someone gets a hold, like I don't know, I forgot what is the term when, for example, they grab a phone and they change the operation system. So maybe they can like crack it even through that. For privacy related things, like it could be like pretty safe. But the idea is that for like the app that we want to have in Chrome, if we want like security for privacy related things, or if right now like a UI that blocks you and gives you like some blocker for like non-technical people is like good enough for now, and then we can add like some encryption and some stuff that actually is going to encrypt the information. So even if someone tries and has like technical knowledge, is not going to be able to like figure anything out from it.
Yeah, so I think like it's a good thing that we worked on the UI at all. So this work is definitely like it's not for nothing. It will be used. So it's like half of work done. But I don't see much point to release without the encryption, because people really want, when people think about the locking, they think that no one will be able to see the data, even if they don't know how. So I mostly wanted to discuss if we have any like real blocks on this one, or if we just kind of lack specification and understanding on how the log or on how the encryption should be done.
So I don't think we have any blockers besides like someone taking ownership and like extending the specifications. So yeah, so working with like some encryption and then coding the part.
Okay, I can then look into what spec we have now and then just add kind of like the data encryption part in there and describe maybe test encryption a bit. I will need to look into how exactly we use the local storage. Do we have any documentation on this part? I mean, we use some pretty like common solution, right?
We're using I forgot the name of it's like a library from Google to interact with the local storage.
Ah, yeah, okay. I'm gonna look into it then and add the part about encryption, and then we can plan it because I really want to close this one. Seems like a cool feature and people asking for it.
Yeah,
So,
and
especially if we already have all the UI.
related to encryption, also maybe we could reuse some of the logic, or maybe at least use the same libraries that we're using in the mobile app.
In the mobile. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna look into it, but I wouldn't count on it too much.
Okay.
Because the solutions are really might be different because the whole storage stuff is like, I don't know, but I think it's really kind of different. I think on mobile there are standard built-in solutions for it, but yeah, I'm gonna check with the guys with the mobile.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we didn't use like we use like a custom solution that's like the same depending no matter if it's like iOS or Android. So in that way, it's like pretty secure because some of the problems that for some version of Android, like the encryption is different. It's not that great.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. I'm gonna discuss it with them and see if we can make it faster, then it's even better. Cool. I think it's all on this feature. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. One other thing I wanted to go over was the Firefox support PR. So this one's not merged yet, but it's ready to be merged whenever somebody reviews. Pending these conflicting files, which are kind of just trivial conflicting files. So I want to mention just on this PR, before it gets merged, one thing it does do is it splits the CI into two. So you can see I changed the circle CI config, and this basically causes us to have two builds going on parallel. So first it does a setup, and then it tests Chrome and Firefox in parallel. So that'll change. Now you'll see 3 checkboxes, but don't worry, that's what that is. But to get that working, basically I had to split up the build commands. So you can see in the package, okay, maybe this is a good example. If you want to run the end-to-end tests, now you have to specify the browser at the end. So you specify either Chrome or Firefox. And then you have to run a prepare command first. Okay. And basically the prepare command builds the tests, and a test command just runs it. This has the advantage of if you're testing the same thing without changing any code, you can now just run the test command a second time and it won't rebuild, which I think is nice. But yeah, you just have to be careful to remember to rerun test prepare every time you change code, which is kind of tedious. The reason I did this, and we can try and find maybe a different way to do it, but the reason I did this originally was because what I need to happen is that when you're running the CI, the build setup basically builds the extension. So this is the one that runs the the test prepare. The test prepare will generate the CRX and the XPI extension files. And then the test Chrome consumes the CRX and the test Firefox consume the XPI. So make sure like both these tests have the extensions ready to use. It had to be in a higher level step, if that makes sense. So that's what happens. So just note that if you use this branch, or once we merge this PR, you'll have to kind of change the way you build tests and just be aware of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody? No problems. Everything seems fairly intuitive.
Yeah,
Yep.
looks good.
Yeah, everything in this PR, it looks kind of messy, but mostly you can just read it as a book as opposed to like the code changes. It's like a documentation on like how just random things are different in Firefox. So it's just kind of maybe a confusing PR. And
So
then,
building from this branch already gonna make me a working Firefox extension, right?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's worked since end of last year. And then just a few days ago, I added the parallel CI. So now Firefox and Chrome CIs run in parallel.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So that's ready to merge whatever. One thing that I'd like to do, so as you saw, the Firefox feature branch had some merge conflicts. And so there's two options. I can fix them and then we can merge the Firefox support branch. But I think maybe makes more sense is to first do the React Polymorph V8 branch. And then when this is merged, then go back to Firefox and rebase. Because if I fix the Firefox merge conflicts and then we merge V8, then I have new merge conflicts again. So I'd rather just do this one first. This one this one's much more ugly, so somebody has to like sacrifice themselves to spend like, you know, a few minutes checking this out. It's not anything complicated, but it's just, you know, kind of a tedious change. Mostly I just went through the Daedalus code base where they did a similar upgrade, and I just looked at what they did and basically, I wouldn't say copy, but used heavy inspiration. So just whenever they had to change their CSS, I changed the CSS. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, so if somebody wants to go through this one, I really appreciate it. Because the thing is, once we merge this React Polymorph V8, then we also have to change the whole redesign that's going on, which is going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way you override CSS changes slightly differently, and the way you specify the colors changes slightly differently. So it's going to be a mess to merge. So I'd rather get it done as soon as possible. So yeah. So my suggestion is we merge the React Polymorph V8 change. Then we merge the Firefox change after.
How bad do you think this React Polymorph PR is in conflict with other open PRs?
If they don't touch the themes, then no conflict. If you add new colors, if you add new colors or you use any React Polymorph components, then you'll have to rebase. Basically, Basically, the V8 is a complete API breaking change. Nothing is compatible anymore. Not a single line of it. So if you use React Polymorph anywhere in any way, shape, or form, it's gonna break.
Okay, Nico, this conflicting with what Mikita is doing right now.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot.
Okay. Do you think he can look maybe through it and make an estimate on how bad would it affect, and I mean whether he is okay with maybe merging this and also reviewing and giving his approval and merging this stuff and then fixing his part. Because would it be maybe, I mean, we can estimate how worse would it be to first merge what he's doing and then trying to do this polymorph stuff.
I think merging like the polymorph stuff is like better because we are not going to be able to implement it in a different way, but we can like change the theme how it's implemented.
Yep.
Yeah, so I talked with the React polymorph people because they're also iOSK people. And so we agree that maybe it makes sense for us to coordinate more on this library in the future. So, because I submitted some issues to their GitHub branch for some stuff I found. And then hopefully in the future, they'll not just make random breaking changes for the heck of it. Because before it used to break dateless, and that's fine because they were also the dateless authors. But now it'd be nice if they just pinged us and said, like, hey, by the way, breaking change is coming, and then we can discuss it. So they're all okay with that. So which is good. So we'll have a discussion with them at some point about how we can best coordinate on React Polymorph. Because probably we'll have to make changes to it eventually to fix some other things that they don't have time to do.
Yeah, and the thing that worries me is that they are only using it for like Electron, and so they don't check with Firefox, and they're not to be checking with, for example, if we using iOS and Android for the mobile app, and so probably they also don't have like graphical testing that compares pixel by pixel in like different browsers. So probably we'll have to work on that if it's something important for us because they're not to do it.
Yeah, well, I have to look into it because there's a bug on Firefox with React Polymorph. I'm 100% sure it's a bug in React Polymorph, but they don't have any tests for it, and they said they can't repro it. So I just fixed it locally on our branch with a hack, but prefer to spend some time getting a nice repro on their GitHub repro and then get that fixed. But I guess it's low priority now because it doesn't block us. But stuff like that, yeah, could happen. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because we need to get this merged like sooner than later because the longer we don't merge it, the more it just messes with everything.
Okay, I think we're gonna ask Mikita to look into it today then, because it's like directly related to what he's doing, and get an approval from him just as an indicator that he's like aware of the changes. And then someone who is more knowledgeable in the front end stuff maybe should check it for like the validity, and then we can try to merge it ASAP.
Yeah, so the PR contains like two things. It's an upgrade to 7.2 and an upgrade for 8.0. So if they look into it and compare to the dateless code changes, so I linked to the PRs and dateless do the same thing. So if they compare with the dateless code changes and the change logs to React Polymorph, then hopefully it should make sense. If they just read the files change and figure out what these changes are meant to be for, it's not going to go well. So I suggest that instead they kind of compare to the dateless changes, which have like a much longer description of why these changes are made. And then hopefully everything will make a lot more sense.
Okay, we're gonna do it. Makes sense. Thank you.
All right, that's all I had. One thing I want to bring up, since we went over all the triage and the PRs, was that in the mobile app we have a thing that's like the inter wallet transactions, right? I think it's called.
Yep.
So we need that feature for the browser version of Yoroi also. So I can implement that, I guess, if nobody else is working on it.
Oh yeah, I plan to create a bug report about how it's processed now, and then kind of work from there.
Yeah. So
I tried to locate some code but couldn't find it. But basically, we have an issue that when you create an intra-wallet transaction, the change address is not recognized, and it's not added to the wallet.
are you saying this is a bug in the mobile version? Or are you saying
No,
this is a bug in
no,
the...
in the Yoroi in the browser version.
Yeah. So I guess all we need to do is just look at the mobile app, see what they do, and just copy the behavior, I guess, or we can just implement it ourselves. Because I think there's only one way to do it, so it's not like this is a difficult change. But are you okay with the term intro wallet? I'm not sure if it's a super obvious word.
Sounds good to me.
It sounds a little weird, but I don't have anything better.
Yeah, because I was... Yeah, when I made my issue about this, it's actually already an issue about this topic on the Yoroi front end. I proposed what was it, reorganizing transactions, something like that. You're trying to reorganize your UTXO, but maybe that is also equally confusing. So I'm not sure if I have anything better.
So there are two issues, but I'm not sure whether they are solved in the same place in the code. That's what I tried to spend some time on it, but couldn't really locate it. Because basically, first problem is with how the transaction value is calculated. Because when you send from yourself to yourself, the value, the displayed value is all wrong. Just because there is like they didn't consider this case at all. So basically, they only check if one of inputs is yours and terminate after this, thinking that then you send coins out. And the second problem is like the really bad one because it kind of makes some part of your funds potentially locked until you restore the wallet or send some other amount, because it creates two outputs and both of them are yours. One of them are external address when you send your coins to your own wallet, and the second one is change. And change is lost, basically. No, not lost like coins lost, it's just that for some reason it does not recognize this address and does not add it to the list of addresses. So it just doesn't see the coins.
So I can work on this, but did you want to work on this?
No, I mean I just plan to create the issue. So
okay. Well, we already have an issue for it. I mean, maybe you can give a more detailed issue, I guess. But I think everybody knows the problem at this point.
Okay. Says we have open issue for this. I'm gonna look for it. I admit.
Yeah, I think it's really old. I think it's one of the very first issues in the code base.
Yeah. Okay. I can add some comments there, and yeah, I mean, you can work on it then. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. See, here it is. Reorganizing transactions.
Yeah. Missed it.
Yeah. So you can add to this, and then I'll try and look into it later. All right. Well, that's all I had. Is there anything else? Shin, what are you working on?
Yeah, I'm working on file export functionality, so which I discussed earlier.
All right.
So I have to fix the test cases, and yeah, then it will be ready for review.
All right.
Yeah, for after this file export, then I have to fix some previous bugs in the from the last release, basically related to UI, and yeah, then I will think that what next I have to do.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Are we done yet? Are we done then?
Yeah, I think we're done.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yep.
I'll post the link for next week's meeting shortly after this meeting's over. So next time we'll have more of a heads up.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
And then, yeah, in 2 weeks from now, we'll have to cancel also because of the Japan blockchain conference, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot. Thanks everyone.